This is Psychiana Lesson 5, written by Frank B. Robinson, June 11, 1930. At the beginning of this lesson, shall we pause for a moment or two and retrospect for a little while to see just where we have progressed in these important studies? One mistake many of my students make is to expect the things of God to be revealed to them instantly. This is rather an unusual expectation because in no other course of study does one understand the full import of it and learn all about it instantly. If you are studying to be a doctor of medicine or a doctor of psychology, you will have to pursue a definite course of studies over a period of years, sometimes 4 or 5, before you are able to understand all that the course of instruction teaches you. You cannot grasp the full truth immediately, nor can you become a competent physician or psychologist or lawyer or whatever it may be without actual experience in the lessons as taught. The doctor will serve as an intern in some hospital. The lawyer will practice free of charge in the police court. The psychologist will practice his science for quite some time before he is competent to teach others. In the study of the living God, you must not be too impatient. I realize now how, when once the student begins to grasp the tremendous import of it all, he is so staggered and sometimes dumbfounded by the truth of the actuality of the presence of the living God and the immense possibilities it contains, that he immediately wants to leap into a full knowledge of the entire truth. I understand this longing and desire, and it is perfectly natural for the student to feel this. But as in medicine and psychology and law, only actual practice will make perfect, so it is in the study of the living God. It takes actual experience and the definite and unswerving practice in the actual contacting of Him to make one progress along the line of perfection. And while it is true that the mighty, immutable God we are learning about never changes, it is also true that you and I are still in the fleshly form that was made manifest when the eyes of man, by disobedience, were first opened to this same fleshly form. And just as long as this condition is in existence, then so long will there be a sense veil between you and this mighty life spirit. He is there, but never forget that you are in the flesh and not spirit. The hymn writer saw the truth when he penned the following beautiful lines. Jesus, these eyes have never seen that radiant form of thine. The veil of sense lies dark between thy blessed face and mine. I see thee not, I hear thee not, yet thou art off with me, and earth has ne'er so dear a spot as where I meet with thee. Like some bright dream that comes unsought, when slumbers o'er me roll, thine image ever fills my thought, and charms my ravished soul. But though I have not seen, and still must rest in faith alone, I love thee, dearest Lord, and will, unseen, but not unknown. The man who wrote that hymn knew the living God. So I desire my students always to remember that they are in a state of physical being, and as such are in a state of enmity toward God, being in a state of, well, shall we say, rebellion towards Him. Your ancestors way back were the very two who, when they were enjoying the perfect bliss of perfect communion with the living God, deliberately chose to throw away that perfect liberty and all the joys attendant to it, and in so doing lost their communion with this great God, and by so doing brought death, disease, sickness, and poverty on themselves, and not only on themselves, but on the entire human race, you included. So do not expect that you will instantly be able to restore that communion. It can be restored, and I will show you how to do it. But please always remember that you are a human physical form, and not a spiritual or spirit being as your two ancestors were. Away back there, these two ancestors were spirit beings or spiritual beings. But you and I are a long way from being that now. So just obey me as I endeavor to instruct you. I can assure you that I know the way. It's a very simple one once understood. The carpenter knew it and proclaimed it, and the scriptures are full of it. All they need is to be understood exactly as Jesus understood and taught them. I perchance seem to hear you say that if the way is so simple, why is it that more people have not found it? The truth that Jesus proclaimed was so staggering in its immensity and so different from the ideas of God held by the Jews that they, in their utter ignorance of what the carpenter was teaching, even though he accompanied it with miracles, refused to accept the teaching and crucified the carpenter and denounced the entire message as being the ravings of a crazy man. They said he had a devil. There was none other manifested to continue the message Jesus came to proclaim, and so the old system of religion continued, and on those old false teachings has been built the teachings as we have had them taught to us by those who claim authority as ambassadors of God today. Our entire system of religious teaching is founded on the error of our forefathers or on a misconception of the teachings of Christ. In trying to give to the world the true gospel, Jesus said, "The things that I do shall ye do also." But do we find the present-day Christians doing them? Jesus said, "These signs shall follow those that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. If they shall eat any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them," etc., etc. But we do not find the Christians doing this today. Jesus said, "Whatever you shall ask in my name shall be done unto you." But do we find this being done today? These and many other signs were to follow those who believed on him according to Jesus. But where are they? The first thing for the student to grasp is that there is only one sin in the entire universe, and that sin is unbelief. Never forget that, and never forget further that this world as a whole still disbelieves the same thing that its two foreparents disbelieved in the Garden of Eden, although in a different way. And this sin of unbelief is entirely responsible for all the other sins in the world. Well, you say, Dr. Robinson, are there no burglaries, murders, thefts, etc.? And are not these all sins? Yes, they are all sins. And every last one of them is directly traceable to that one great sin way back yonder in the beginning, the sin of unbelief. If this world believed in the actual presence of the living God, so close to it that it could literally speak to him and get an answer, how much sin do you think would remain in the world, and for how long? The beauties of the spiritual existence would so overwhelm the so-called pleasures of this world that the one who fooled with them would be the exception rather than the rule.